And welcome back. So quite a humorous story here for when anything that is trying to get rid of hate speech or things that violate their policies like that on any social media platform don't know exactly what they're looking for. And therefore you're going to get complaints by people saying, you're not doing enough to combat it. And then if there are any moves towards combating the particular interest at the moment, they're going to say, oh no, you're targeting the wrong people because now you're getting rid of stuff that doesn't need to be taken down. And here we see an example against the protected group of the Jews, as Twitter sparks fury after locking Jewish users' accounts because Star of David profile photos were deemed so-called hateful images, as they're looking for the yellow star. So, Jewish Twitter users complain their accounts that had the Star of David as a profile picture were locked due to showing so-called hateful imagery. The social media platform claims it is working to rid the site of the yellow star, which has reportedly been used to target and attack Jews. Campaign Against Anti-Semitism told the Mail Online in a statement that the platform's response was inept. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. The only way to really blow over this is to not acknowledge what they're saying at all. And to say, okay, this is our platform. People can post whatever they want to. We're not going to make you listen to it or watch it or read it or anything like that. If you don't want to participate, then you could perhaps not use the platform, or if they care about the ad revenue and the like, then say you can mute the people responsible. If you wish to organize a campaign to try and stop people from trying to do these things, then by all means go down that route as well. But by having somewhere like a public square where you do actually have complete freedom of expression, or at least freedom of speech, then you'll reach the point where you go, okay, this is what people are thinking, and it's anonymous as well, so that they're not going to worry about being held to account, and they can also see how popular these things are, and if there is a groundswell of support for these movements or the rhetoric, whatever it might be. And so by doing that, you can constantly have your finger on the pulse of the cultural zeitgeist as to what the thoughts are simmering underneath that people may not be willing to make vocal, but still feel to be innate truths that are recognizable at a moment's glance. And by stopping this, then of course you don't know what people are on about, and you can't stop it, put simply. I think the best example would be about trying to ban the word Nazi. That anybody who wishes to have support for any National Socialist Party will see, okay, then we can't use that keyword. Therefore, let's use another word, which is completely fine. In fact, my prime examples are using words like Google, Facebook, Yahoo, or Twitter as slurs, because then they can still get their message across. However, anyone who's trying to do an actual documentary and is trying to pinpoint exactly who the German Socialist Workers' Party were and use the term Nazi are therefore scrubbed off. They're the ones that are censored, even though they're trying to say Nazi because that's what people know, and they're trying to show exactly what the Nazis did in a documentary format, and therefore they suffer the most. So with any overreach, with any big top-down action, there are going to be unforeseen consequences, and this is just yet another example of it. So they say among the blocked accounts, one showed a series of yellow stars, while others showed a Star of David next to Batman character Harley Quinn, and the star on a cream background in a graffiti style, which we have a photo of down below just there. So in a statement, Twitter insisted it did not consider the Star of David a hateful image, and it had been trying to take down images of the yellow star, which has allegedly been used to target Jewish users. Campaign Against Anti-Semitism, who received complaints from Twitter users after the profiles were shut down, told Mail Online that the platform's response to anti-Semitism was inept. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So, of course. And by all means, you can go down the route of saying, well, if Jack Dorsey and the team at Twitter wish to support cultural Marxist groups like Black Lives Matter, for example, or the Democratic Party or Labour in the UK, then of course they're going to be twinged with anti-Semitism, as socialists tend to, because if you look at successful ethnic groups, and of course collectivists will do this instead of the individualists, then they'll go, it seems that the Jewish population is doing very well financially, therefore they must be bad because we've already said that the rich people are bad and we want to smash the rich or eat the rich. Therefore, the Jewish people must also be bad, and it can't be out of hard work and merit. Therefore, it's got to be a conspiracy. And so it makes a lot of sense from their perspective of how these conspiracies are borne out, and you can find evidence to support whatever you want to. It's then, knowing that, difficult to tell what's true and what isn't. So, by all means, go down that route if you think that Twitter wishes to do so. But they have come out to say, we want to clarify some questions about hateful imagery on Twitter. We categorically do not consider the Star of David as a hateful symbol or hateful image. We have for some time seen the yellow star or yellow badge symbol being used by those seeking to target Jewish people. So they're going to pin their colours to the mast and say that no, they're trying to make it a safe space for everybody and are a bit too overreaching with some of their movements, as they have done here. So, just last week, Twitter was accused of failing to combat anti-Semitism after the hashtag Jewish privilege became trending on its platform. The hashtag was used to promote anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, such as Jews being in control of the slave trade and running the world order, which is essentially what I alluded to. So then they weren't doing enough there, they tried to combat it, and they went too far the other way because there was no pleasing people. But they've said, while the majority of cases were correctly actioned, some accounts highlighted recently were mistakes and have now been restored. We're grateful to Anti-Semitism and American Defence League and CST UK and others for bringing this to our attention and for their partnership in tackling anti-Semitism. So they are going to still try and continue down that road until the next time. But if you're trying to make it a nice space for people who hold these anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and to believe that Semitic people and the Jewish people are evil or conspiratorial or run the world, then you can't be surprised if you face these problems regularly. Just like if you're trying to say, oh, well, we don't want to discriminate based on race or collectivize because of ethnic groups, but then you're also in support of the Black Lives Matter movement, then of course there is going to be a contradiction there, and you're going to have to try and resolve that conflict somehow, and chances are you're going to get eaten alive no matter what you do from the vocal minority. And the same is going here. So I'm not condoning the behaviour, of course not. But I am saying, if this is how people feel, and this is what the Twitter platform has become and it can't stop it, then maybe stop trying to stop it. And you'll find that if you admit that you're not responsible for what people post and what they do, then nobody will be able to come after you. And maybe then we can get back to actually being able to speak freely, see what's on people's minds, and then do something about it, instead of just taking out some edgy people and getting a load of innocent bystanders hurt in the crossfire. But as always, thank you for watching, and have a good one.